the inevitable collapse. Your wealth is in danger.
Hello, my beautiful doomers, skeptics, and intellectual rebels. Welcome to Bouffonneries, the podcast where we take a scalpel, or perhaps a rather blunt, rusty spoon, to the grand pronouncements of the self-appointed oracles of our time. I'm your host, Velvet Dagger, here to pierce the velvet fog of nonsense with a little wit. Today, we're diving into a masterclass in predictive panic. We've got a transcript that claims to have cracked the code of 500 years of history. A transcript that sees the future and finds it, well, your wealth, specifically, is in grave, grave danger. Desperately wants you to believe. Strap in, because we're about to dissect why this isn't a history lesson. It's a fortune teller reading your wallet instead of your palm.
The grand oversimplified cycle.
Our sage begins with a thesis so grand it needs its own theme park. Nations rise and fall in neat, predictable 80-year cycles based on 5 whole forces: debt, internal conflict, geopolitics, nature, and tech. That's it. The entire chaotic, beautiful, absurd mess of human existence, reduced to a 5-point checklist. This is the intellectual equivalent of diagnosing a complex psychological condition with a BuzzFeed quiz. What's your empire's apocalypse alignment? It's a false dilemma of epic proportions. You're either rising or you're declining. There's no Switzerland. There is no just kinda vibing. It ignores the potential for, everything else. Mixed outcomes, hybrid systems, a sudden global obsession with competitive knitting that unites us all. This model is so rigid it makes a Victorian corset look like athleisure wear. The sheer confidence to claim history is this deterministic is breathtaking. It's not analysis. It's astrology for finance bros.
Appeal to misplaced authority.
But how does he know this? Is he a historian? A political scientist? A time traveler? No. He's a guy who was very good at investing, and he studied history by himself. Let's be clear, being brilliant at making money does not make you Henry Kissinger. That's a hasty generalization wrapped in an appeal to authority. That's like saying because I can make a stunning coke au vin, I am now qualified to perform open heart surgery. The skills are somewhat different. This is the logical fallacy of rich guy, said it, so it must be deep.
Cherry picking for fun and profit.
And to prove his point, he fires off some stats. Millionaires are leaving the UK. 60% of Americans read at a low level. It's the end times. This is a classic cherry-picking festival, also known as the Texas sharpshooter fallacy. He paints a target around the bullet holes that already exist. He's ignoring any data that doesn't scream, we're all going to die. What about innovation? Quality of life. The fact that we have more knowledge in our pockets than entire empires did 500 years ago. Nope. Doesn't fit the narrative. The narrative that, might I remind you, he is selling. And, the language he uses. Very, very dark times. Your wealth could be in danger. Internal wars. This isn't analysis. It's a haunted house ride. It's pure emotional manipulation. Fear appeal designed to make you so anxious you'll buy whatever he's selling, be it a book, a seminar, or just his aura of omniscience. He's not informing you. He's activating your lizard brain. The part of you that wants to run from the saber-toothed tiger. Except the tiger is the national debt, and the only safe cave is subscribing to his newsletter.
Virtue signaling for fun and profit.
But it's not for him. Oh no, he's just a humble servant. He wants to pass things along. He's here to help you. This, my friends, is virtue signaling at its most transparent. It's the spiritual cousin of the influencer who says I don't do this for the money while shilling sugar-free gummy bears. It's altruism as a marketing strategy. The message is, I care. But the subtext is, please care about my brand.
The soft sell on autocracy.
Perhaps the most chilling part is how he discusses the potential slide into autocracy. He doesn't call it a nightmare. He frames it as a natural, almost reasonable historical response. A strong leader who will get control of things. This is euphemism doing some very heavy, very dark lifting. He's making the dismantling of democracy sound as inevitable and neutral as the changing of the seasons. It's not a terrifying prospect. It's just the next phase on the cycle. This isn't history. It's apologetics for authoritarianism wrapped in a historical bow.
The circular logic of doom.
And how do we know these cycles are real? Because they've happened before. And how do we know they've happened before? Because we can see the cycles. Do you feel that? That's the dizzying sensation of circular reasoning. The entire argument is a Ouroboros of its own conclusion. It's a logical black hole. The theory is assumed to be true, and then all evidence is filtered through it, which of course proves the theory is true. It's perfectly airtight and perfectly meaningless.
From geopolitics to your meditation cushion.
So after this terrifying tour of global collapse, what is the solution? The one thing that will save you. Meditation. Finding your nature. I am not joking. This is the king of all non sequiturs. The leap from World War III is imminent to you. Should get more in touch with your breath is so vast it should have its own base-jumping franchise. It's a complete mismatch of scale. It's like a doctor diagnosing a patient with a meteorite stuck in their skull and prescribing a scented candle. It's profound advice for personal peace, but it is not a geopolitical strategy. So let's recap. We have a deterministic historical model that's too simple to be true, backed by cherry-picked data, sold with fear, softened with virtue, and concluded with advice that has all the practical utility of a chocolate teapot in a real crisis. This isn't a guide to the future. It's a horror story designed to make you feel powerless so you'll cling to the storyteller. The real cycle here is the age-old one of fear-mongering for profit. So, my dear audience, what do you think? Spot the source, expose the jest, and elect your Buffon of the day in the comments. Was it the fear? The circular logic? The meditation advice? Tweet us your favorite cringe-worthy cliché using #Bouffonneries. If you enjoyed this masterclass in how not to face the future, share it with someone who needs a laugh or a reality check. For Bouffonneries, I'm Velvet Dagger, reminding you that if history teaches us one thing, it's to be deeply suspicious of anyone who claims to have it all figured out.